Bonjour and welcome to Le Podcast de Philippe. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into Mistral AI,
Okay.
which is a French startup that is really making a splash in the AI world. And we're going to be looking at what makes them stand out,
Mhm.
from the big players like OpenAI and Google, and some of the challenges that they're facing in this, rapidly evolving landscape of AI. We're going to be drawing on some insights from some really interesting articles by numerama.capitec.fr and BFM TV. So get ready to discover the secrets behind Mistral's speed, their stance on open source technology, and their distinct focus on the European market.
Sounds good.
One of the things that really struck me when I was reading about Mistral was just how fast their chatbot is. Le Chat, I think it's called.
Hmm.
Numerama actually reported that it's significantly faster than competitors like ChatGPT.
Yeah, it is. It's remarkably fast.
Like they claim it's 10 times faster, which is just mind-blowing. I mean, that kind of speed advantage could really change the game.
Yeah.
So how are they achieving this? What's the
Uh,
secret sauce?
Well, they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. One of the things they're doing is they're using this technology called flash answers, which basically pre-computes answers to common questions.
Mhm.
So it's like having the answer ready to go instead of having to solve a complex equation every time.
So it's all about optimization and efficiency. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Especially, when you think about how frustrating it can be to wait for a chatbot to respond. You ask a question and then you're sitting there like,
Waiting.
yeah, twiddling your thumbs. So what else are they doing to achieve this speed?
Well, on top of the flash answers, they're also using low latency AI models, things like Mistral Medium and Medium Large. These models are designed specifically for quick processing, and they've also partnered with a company called Cerebras Systems.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they make these specialized AI processors that are known for their speed and efficiency.
So they're really pulling out all the stops to make sure that speed is a top priority. Now let's talk a bit about their approach to open source AI. Initially, Mistral was a big advocate for open source, which set them apart from some of the other companies like OpenAI and Google.
Right.
So what was the thinking behind that?
Well, by embracing open source, they were able to build a community around their technology very quickly. It fostered collaboration and transparency.
Yeah, I can see how that would be appealing to a lot of developers and researchers.
Definitely.
But I was reading on cafetech.fr that they've recently shifted towards a more hybrid model. So their latest model, Mistral Large, is only partially open source.
Yeah, that's right.
So why the change?
Well, it's probably a strategic decision. They're trying to balance their open source roots with the need to, be commercially viable, especially in a market that's dominated by these big players.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
It is.
Because on the one hand, you want to be open and collaborative, but on the other hand, you need to be able to generate revenue,
Yeah.
to keep the lights on. So they're in this kind of tricky situation where they're trying to maintain their commitment to open source while also figuring out how to navigate the complexities of, running a business.
Yeah. And that's a challenge that a lot of AI companies are facing right now.
It is a fascinating time to be following this industry.
For sure.
It's changing so rapidly, and there are so many different factors at play.
Yeah, it's like a constantly evolving puzzle.
So we've talked about their speed and their approach to open source.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another aspect of Mistral that's really interesting, and that's their strong focus on the European market.
Right.
They've been very vocal about developing AI that's tailored for a European audience. And lebigdata.fr actually highlighted their commitment to developing multilingual models. So these models can handle a variety of European languages, which is a huge advantage in a market that's often dominated by models that are primarily trained on English data.
Yeah, it's a smart move. It shows that they're really paying attention to the specific needs and nuances of different languages and cultures.
And that kind of attention to detail could give them a real edge, especially as AI becomes more and more integrated into our daily lives.
Definitely. It's all about understanding the user and providing solutions that are truly relevant to their needs and their context.
Absolutely. So we're seeing this company that's really trying to carve out a unique niche for itself. They're prioritizing speed, they're finding a balance between open source and commercial viability, and they're focusing on the European market. It's a fascinating combination of factors,
It is.
and it'll be interesting to see how they continue to evolve in the coming years.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do next.
Me too. They're definitely a company to watch.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the podcast de Philippe. We're continuing our exploration of Mistral AI and their ambitious goals.
One of the things that really stood out to me was their recent valuation.
Oh, yeah.
BFM TV reported that they were valued at a staggering $2 billion.
Yeah, $2 billion with a B. That's a lot of money,
Yeah.
especially for a company that's relatively new to the AI scene. So what's driving that kind of investor confidence?
Well, it's a combination of factors. I think their focus on innovation is a big part of it. They've
Yeah.
assembled a really strong team of AI experts, and they're also forming some strategic partnerships.
Partnerships, those are always key, especially in a field like this that's moving so fast. So who are they teaming up with?
Well, one of the most notable partnerships is with Microsoft.
Oh, wow, Microsoft.
Yeah, Cafetech.fr reported that Mistral has actually integrated their models into Microsoft's Azure platform.
Azure, that's a big deal. That's a leading cloud computing service. So what does this partnership mean for Mistral?
Well, it gives them access to a vast infrastructure for scaling their operations,
Yeah.
and it also gives them access to a much wider audience for their technology.
Right, because Microsoft has that global reach.
Exactly.
It also lends them a certain level of credibility,
Yeah.
being associated with a tech giant like Microsoft.
It's like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, it's like saying, hey, we're here, we're serious, we're playing in the big leagues.
Right.
So they're leveraging the strengths of an established player, but they're still charting their own course.
It's a smart move. It allows them to focus on what they do best,
Yeah.
which is developing those cutting-edge AI models.
And speaking of strategic moves, BFM TV also mentioned that Mistral is shaking things up with their pricing strategy.
Yeah, their pricing is very interesting.
They're offering their most powerful model, Mistral Large, at a price that's significantly lower than comparable offerings from OpenAI.
They're really undercutting the competition.
It's a bold move. It's almost like they're trying to start a price war.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble.
So is it sustainable?
Well, that's the big question. Lower prices can attract more customers and make AI technology more accessible.
Which is a good thing.
But it also raises questions about long-term profitability.
Yeah, they need to be able to make money.
Exactly.
It's a delicate balance. They need to be competitive on price,
Yeah.
but they also need to be able to invest in research and development.
It's a tightrope walk.
And let's not forget their commitment to multilingual models.
Right.
Low Big Data. .fr highlighted Mistral's ability to handle multiple European languages, which is a huge advantage in a market that's often dominated by English-centric models.
It's a smart move. It aligns perfectly with their mission to serve a European audience.
It allows them to cater to those specific needs and cultural nuances of different European markets.
It opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
So they're not just competing. They're strategically positioning themselves to be a dominant force in the AI landscape.
It's a fascinating journey.
It really is. And we're going to continue following their progress with great interest. Welcome back to Le Podcast de Philippe. We've been exploring the fascinating world of Mistral AI. And now in this final part, I want to kind of shift gears a bit and look at the bigger picture. What are the broader implications of their rise?
Yeah, I think Mistral's emergence, with their focus on Europe and multilingualism, it really has the potential to influence how AI is developed and deployed, not just in Europe, but globally.
Yeah, it's like they're setting a new standard.
Their commitment to responsible AI and data privacy could be a game changer for the whole industry.
It's a lot of responsibility, though.
Yeah.
Are they up to the task?
Well, it's an ongoing challenge for sure.
Mm.
For any company working with AI, I think open dialogue is key. Robust regulations, a shared commitment to ethical principles. These are all essential for guiding the development and use of this powerful technology.
Yeah, it's not just about building impressive AI. It's about using it for good.
Yeah.
Making sure it doesn't, create new problems or make existing inequalities worse.
Exactly.
A lot of people are talking about Mistral's success as a victory for Europe, in this global AI race. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I can see why people are framing it that way. It is a source of pride for Europe to have a homegrown company challenging those big players. It shows that Europe can be a leader in this crucial field.
For sure.
But I think it's also important to remember that the AI landscape, it's not a zero-sum game. Collaboration is key,
Right.
Knowledge sharing. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If Mistral can push the boundaries of AI technology, the whole world benefits.
It's easy to get caught up in the competition. But ultimately, the goal should be to use AI to solve real-world problems, make people's lives better.
So I guess the big question is, can Mistral carve out a lasting place for itself in this global AI arena?
It's a tough question. I think their commitment to responsible AI, their focus on Europe, their innovative technology, all of that puts them in a really strong position. But it's not going to be easy. They've got a lot of challenges ahead of them.
They do.
Those ethical and regulatory hurdles, the fierce competition.
It's a long road.
But they've shown that they're agile, they're innovative, and they've got a clear vision.
Yeah, they're definitely a company to watch.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of Mistral AI. Thanks for joining us on the podcast de Philippe. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more deep dives into the exciting world of tech.
And keep exploring the world of AI. It's a rapidly evolving field that has the potential to shape our future in amazing ways.
Until next time, au revoir.